Yeah, we back. Yeah, we back. Now, back with another episode of Economic Warfare. Today, we're going to be talking about the French company Orano, the French multinational corporation Orano. I did a video on them a while back. As you already know, classic video. Go check it out. I believe it was entitled, Niger tells France to leave the uranium mines. Go check it out. Dropped a lot of fire on that one. But now we got a follow-up, man. Now we got a follow-up. Take a look up on the screen. Now I'm going to translate this article from French. It's actually coming directly from French state media, RFI, right? This is French-owned media. This is coming directly from the adversary himself. Take a look up on the screen. The French group Orano announces a 6-month loss of 133 million euros due to its difficulties in Niger. Now, like we discussed in that last video, Orano is a French multinational corporation. It specializes in nuclear fuel, uranium mining, processing uranium, energy production for not only France, but a good chunk of the European Union altogether. And for me, I'm just blown away by how quick everything began to fall in on itself. Like, goddamn, they only removed their license for a few months. And the company is disintegrating already. They talking about they got it downsized in order to pay wages and things like that and keep operation costs running it. Like, bro, the whole company collapsed because yo, that's all it took. With the snap of a finger, with the wave of a pen, the whole company is beginning to fall in on itself and crumble. That is insane, man. Let's jump into this article. The French nuclear fuel specialist Orano finished the first half of 2024 with a loss of 133 million euros, hampered by its difficulties in carrying out its mining activities in Niger due to a quote-unquote very degraded political context since the military regime came to power in Niamey exactly 1 year ago. This loss is mainly due to 197 million euros of provisions and depreciations recorded during the semester. The write-downs concern the license to operate in the, I don't know how to pronounce that, the Imurian deposit withdrawn in June from the group by the Niger authorities, worth 69 million euros, as well as the assets of its subsidiary Somer, which is in great difficulty. Now, let's get into it, man. Let's get into it. These situations really show you the value and the leverage and the power that African nations have when it comes to international affairs. Just with a flick of a pen, the military authorities in Niger woke up one morning just with a flick of a pen, and a French multinational corporation began to crumble within months. And that right there shows you the true leverage the black man has over these so-called multinational corporations, and by extension, the economies that are propped up by these multinational corporations. And I even broke that down in the last video a few weeks ago. Go check that out, man. I broke it down to how things like this, they trickle down from the multinational corporation all the way down to the average citizen. All the way down to the everyday citizen. They're going to be feeling the pain too. They're going to be feeling the pressure too. Trust me. They're going to see the higher cost of living, the lower quality of life. Trust me, it's all correlated. It's all connected. We broke that down in the last video. Go check it out. But man, let's get into it, man. Yo, another diplomatic victory registered into the books. Man, at this point, we just bullying the French at this point, man. What's going on, man? We just bullying them, bro. We just smacking them around at this point, man. Jesus Christ, man. Told them get the hell out the country. Now we smacking them up internationally, economically, shutting off the tap, destroying their multinational corporations. Oh my God. This is what you want to wake up to on a beautiful Saturday morning. But also, this really debunks that entire theory of so-called foreign aid, right? I would always laugh when you see these, Western commentators, these Western so-called political pundits always talk about the amount of foreign aid we give it to these impoverished nations. Oh, this foreign aid. Oh, we sending so much aid. Listen, the foreign aid is the money you made extracting and exploiting the nation. It's crazy, right? So they would take like the money made, the millions and billions made by a company like Orano. This is what France would do, right? They would take the profits made that they already generated, and then they would give that money back to the government, talking about, oh man, here's this aid, here's this foreign aid. Bro, yo, man, listen, man, the game is crazy, man. The game is crazy. Who's really doing foreign aid? Who's really doing charity, man? Who's really doing charity out here in these streets, man? One semester, man, then lost damn near 200 milli. Goddamn, man. Another semester, you're gonna lose about another 300 milli. Like, bro, oh my goodness, bro. Let's just sit back and watch. We don't even gotta shoot no bullet. We don't even gotta get no guns. We don't gotta do no. We just gotta sit back and watch. That's all you gotta do, man. All we gotta do is shut off the tap, sit back and watch. We don't gotta do nothing. We don't gotta shoot nobody. We don't gotta hurt nobody. We don't gotta curse nobody. We don't gotta smack nobody. All we gotta do is shut off the tap and sit back and watch. That's it in that soil, man. That's it in that soil, man. Like, easily you could see how fast so-called Western civilization would come crashing to a halt. Quickly. And all that money that's diverted into their state coffers, diverting back into our state coffers, and now we could really handle some business. Now we can really handle some business, man. But I always knew this was a leverage that we had. Anybody intelligent already knew this was the leverage the black man had all along, man. Now, of course, an intelligent leader who understands this and would implement policies in place to activate this, of course, he would always be sabotaged and never be allowed to rise to power. But now you see how quick the chessboard can change once you get different leaders in power who look at the world from a different dimension. Now, keep in mind, it's not only this French company that's been given the boot. Right, we also got a company out of Canada that was also given the boot. Now, keep in mind, some of these Canadian companies are undercover French companies because the Frenchmen, they settled up in Canada, they settled up in different places in North America, right? So they got a presence up in Canada. So a lot of these so-called, these white Canadians is really the descendants of white Frenchmen. But even the Canadian companies, they've been given the boot. Take a look up on the screen. This story came out a few weeks ago. Canadian company GoviX stripped of Niger mining rights. And just a few weeks later, Canadian uranium miners' shares dive after Niger pulls the permit. The revocation of GoviX's permit follows the Nigerian government's decision last month to scrap French nuclear group Orano's right to develop the uranium mine. Shares of GoviX, which has operated in Niger since 2007, crashed 35% in Toronto on Thursday, the biggest drop in more than 8 years. The decline came after the government sent the company a letter saying that it no longer has the rights over the perimeter of the Manduela mining permit. Listen, man, it didn't take no big military army. It didn't take no big militia. It didn't take none of it. It didn't take no artillery and ammunition. The black man sent a letter and the whole company crashed. The black man wrote a letter and the whole operation collapsed. That's the type of leverage we got on the international scene. And if only my brothers understood that, the world would be a better place. Now, man, listen, it's Saturday afternoon. I just worked 5 days straight. Man, it's time to relax. It's time to relax, man. It's time to, man. Shout out to my boys in the Sahel, man. Shout out to my dogs in the Sahel, man. Shout out to my brothers on the continent, man. Y'all doing y'all thing, man. Y'all doing y'all thing, man. Every one of y'all, except South Africa. South Africa on some whole other, I don't know what South Africa doing, but shout out to my brothers on the continent, man. And to me, it's all about reciprocity, right? It's all about reciprocity. Niger has had to deal with crippling sanctions, threats of invasion, military violence, military action, had to dump most of the national budget in purchasing weapons to defend itself. And guess what, man? It's time for the black man to put sanctions on our enemies too, man. The white man always talking about, oh man, we dropping sanctions. Listen, the black man can drop sanctions too, baby. This is sanction. You on sanction, man. We on sanction until the black man feel like doing business again. If the black man feel like doing business again. If the black man wants to do business again. Because that it's also a reality that we may never want to do business with you ever again. Now, keep in mind, this is just one company from one nation. Orano is a multinational corporation owned by the French state. This is not owned by a private individual, right? This is an attack on the French economy as a whole. But when I talk about the leverage the black man has on the international scene, think about the other companies. Think about the other nations whose economies can be turned upside down with the flick of a pen, with the flick of a signature. The black man don't gotta shoot no guns. The black man can write a letter and your whole economy crash. Their economies are too integrated into our natural resources to the fact that if we shut off the tap, that's not simply going to be an economic setback. That could end up being a fatal injury. So in summary, the black man needs to understand the amount of leverage, power that he has on the international scene, politically, economically, and begin to weaponize that for his own self-interest. Now, of course, the Western media is going to, fearmonger and bring the propaganda. Oh, Russia, 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 Russia. But I'm hearing through the grapevine that it's actually the American government that is thirsty right now and is trying to secure access to some of the uranium. That's what I'm hearing through the grapevine right now. They're going to fearmonger Russia, but I'm hearing the Americans right now, they scrambling right now. They're trying to get access to some uranium. But honestly, man, my favorite part of this story is how it really debunked that myth on how these so-called smaller nations are only surviving off the goodwill and benevolence of some of these larger nations, when actually it's the other way around. It's actually the other way around, man. Like I said, man, one semester lost damn near $200 million. It reminds me on how the American government and Western commentators will talk about how much foreign aid the American government would send to Haiti. But they never talk about the amount of factories and the amount of cheap labor they are able to access. They never talk about How simply having a monopoly on the rice market for decades allowed them to generate $200 million a year in revenue. That goes to show who really has the leverage, who really has the power. You know, the black man got to understand who really has the leverage, who really has the power, because they understand who has the leverage and the power. That's why they invest so much in our elections. That's why they invest so much in intervening in our political administration, our political affairs, because they understand who has the power. They understand who really has the influence. They understand who really can make things move if he really, really wants to. Anyways, man, it's your boy Neferkari, that's Salim, back in the building, yes indeed. Cash App in the description. Support the album, man. Support the album. Peace.
No. Feel like I'm 75. Know that your team be full of them traders, you know that can never be mine. I'm grabbing a thought when I drive. I'm back in my zone and we young. She said that she ready to come be my wife, yeah, hoping I don't do her wrong. I gave her my word in this bond. I'm whipping the best like a lamb. I mean no chicken and lamb. Accustomed to call me the man. I never be up on the gram. I'm keeping that way undercover. She want me to tell her I love her. I told her I'm breaking the rules. I told her we making the news. Back in my city, they loving me. Standing alone, I'm 100 deep. Enemy plotting and still in reach. They trying to make sure that we underneath. Trying to make sure that we never make it. Coming for power, come get acquainted. Coming for everything that I wanted. Feeling like Drake, but I really wrote it. Feeling like Kendrick, I'm checking names. Gotta roll up while I go insane. Got so much stress, I've been gaining weight. Stuffing these racks in this Louis case. One thing for certain, I'm about to check. Keep it 100 and nothing less. Stick with the family since day one. Had to stay down till my day come. Had to stay down, but I'm never patient. Hop on the mic and I'm motivated. Hop on the mic and I drive a classic. Haters can't see me, they copping glasses. Back in the studio making magic. Got a new tape and it's in production. Back on my business, I got a budget. Staying low key when I'm out in public. Feel like I'm 75. Know that your team be full of them traders, you know that can never be mine. I'm grabbing a thought when I drive. I'm back in my zone and we young. She said that she ready to come be my wife, yeah, hoping I don't do her wrong. I gave her my word in this bond. I'm whipping the best like a lamb. I mean no chicken and lamb. Accustomed to call me the man. I never be up on the gram. I'm keeping that way undercover. She want me to tell her I love her. I told her I'm breaking the rules. I told her we making the news. Making it new, making it new.